President Ron. So I'm pleased to introduce Pleasant. And she is a student in Winnipeg and was selected to attend the Canadian Adventures in Citizenship in Ottawa in May. So she will be in grade 12 this upcoming school year, and she's very passionate, enthusiastic student who believes in the power of volunteering to make a positive impact on society. From a young age, she's always felt a deep sense of compassion towards others and a desire to make a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. This has led her to explore various volunteering opportunities and discover a true calling. Her journey with volunteering began in grade 10 when she volunteered for Run Sage Creek. Through the years, she also got the opportunity to volunteer with Can You as a junior mentor. And we know Can You, our club supported Can You for a number of years. She also got the opportunity to volunteer with Silo Mission. Through this, she had the opportunity to participate in a number of projects, such as organizing food drives, preparing food for those in need. And these experiences opened her eyes to the various issues, different communities, and strengthened her resolve to contribute towards their betterment. So I think she was an excellent choice for the Canadian Adventures in Citizenship. And it sounds like once she gets to university, she'd probably be a great person to join in with Rotaract and eventually with Rotary. So welcome, Pleasant, and we look forward to hearing your story about your time in Ottawa. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to share my screen because it's going to be a presentation. Okay, my name is Pleasant Oyela, as previously said. I will be in grade 12 in this upcoming school year at Winter Park Collegiate, and I was given the opportunity to attend the Adventure in Citizenship Rotary Club of Ottawa 2023. I would like to extend my appreciation and thanks to the Rotary Club of Ottawa and the Rotary Club of Winnipeg, also to Can You for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful opportunity. This is like a view of what the schedule was for the 4 days that I was there, although I did spend an additional 2 days due to flight issues and stuff, but I will expand on that later on. Okay, so on Saturday, I flew from Winnipeg to Ottawa by myself. This was my first time taking a flight, just myself from Winnipeg to Ottawa. I will say it was pretty scary at first, but when I got like over it, it's like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. And yeah, I really enjoyed the opportunity. So thank you. Okay, so I got to Ottawa around, I think, 5 o'clock, and then we got the bus to the University of Ottawa residence, which was where we stood. And this is kind of like a picture, I don't know, sharing my experience for that evening. Okay, Sunday was a full packed day. We had breakfast, and then we went to the auditorium for the first meeting by the chair, Audrey Borden and Campbell Osler, the co-chair. So they had a presentation about the overview of what the program was going to be about. They also gave the statistics of the students that were present in the program. We were able to have students from every province and territory. So, and I think that was really cool. And I was also able to know how much 150 student looks like. So, yeah. And then secondly, we had a presentation from Mr. John Eckbert, which is as executive director from Operation Come Home. For those who don't know, Operation Come Home is an employment, education, and support center for homeless and at-risk youth aged 16 and up, and it is based in Ottawa, Ontario. So an aspect of his presentation that really caught me was when he said his vision for Operation Come Home is to prevent homeless youth from becoming homeless adults. We also had another talk that morning from Miss Camille Boogerman, and she talked about her journey as a Rotary scholar. She shared about how she was sponsored to study in Ottawa, and she's currently writing a research on the sorry the access to justice for victims of sexual violence used in armed conflicts. And through that, she said the elimination of an entire population through sexual violence is one of the basis is that the civilians are more targeted, and the use of sexual violence is to eliminate people based on their belief, religion, socioeconomic status, and so on. But how can we as individuals help? We can help by providing an holistic support to the victims medically, psychologically, and legally. We also heard from Mr. Tibor Evergani, and he did a presentation on Witness to History, the Holocaust of My Boyhood. This was one of the more shocking presentation because it feels different when you hear from a survivor of the Holocaust than when you watch a video. It's easy to think, oh, well, yeah, I know this happened, but when someone that has experienced it tells you about their experience, if it sends chills that this actually happened to people, and there are people that suffered, there are many people that died as a result of this, and because of that, never forget. After the presentation, we had lunch and then we took the bus to the History Museum. Again, more pictures from that. Ottawa is really beautiful in the afternoon and night too. We took the bus to the Canadian War Museum, and there were even more shocking and really exciting things to look at and explore. I personally, this is the best museum I've seen. It's I found it very interactive. You could touch, you could just see history play quite literally in front of your eyes. One of the experience that I really loved was a simulation about what it was like to be a soldier in the trenches in World War One. So you got to experience like the rain falling, the soldiers crying for help, and I found it kind of traumatic, but I think it's really good to understand what people go through so that we know that this doesn't happen again. I also felt represented. So as a Black Canadian, I didn't know we had I didn't know Canada has lots of Black leaders and people that have died for the country. So this was really eye-opening for me, and I sort of got a little bit emotional. So I felt very represented, and yeah. Okay, more pictures from the museum. And sorry about that. That was really loud. We took the bus to Gatineau, Quebec. We had French Canadian dinner, and then this is a little clip of the dance that happened because we were taught Canadian folk.
It's not playing. Okay.
The opposite way. It's a one way. Et en couleur. Et une deuxième fois. Number one to the center. Number two. Number one.
yeah, that was a little sneak peek of what happened. It was a night of lots of fun. I had lots of fun, so that was really cool. The next day, we had to wake up really early and walk to Parliament Hill. So at Parliament Hill, we spoke to the pages of the House of Commons. And for those who don't know, a page is someone or are people who perform both ceremonial and administrative duties, which can include serving water to the chamber and the House of Committees, answering telephones in the lobby, and delivering message to the MPs. So, and there were pictures taken with the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House also spoke to each and every one of us, and we got to sit on our MP's chair. So I think that was really cool. I'm gonna show a big picture. Me, that's the MP's chair. Okay, so that day also we had a round of lots of presentations from different people. So we had a presentation from Ivan Baker, Mr. Ivan Baker. Sorry, not Mr. MP Ivan Baker, and he spoke on Canada's response to Ukraine. And he also shared the duties of an MP, which is to vote on law and legislation, amend law, to debate policies, speak to students, and convince the Prime Minister and Cabinet. I think for most of the presentations that were given at the program, 90% of it was more questions. People asked a lot of interesting and really like intriguing questions that they had to go over time because like there were so many interesting questions that people asked. So it was like we didn't want him to go, right? So I think that was a really fun part of the experience. The fact that people were curious, because a lot of people might think, oh, teenagers aren't that interested in politics, but I was proven wrong. That's not true. There are a lot of people that are interested. They just need someone to ask those difficult questions. We also listened to Mr. Nabil, and he is a president for the Center for Conflict Management. And he talked about different conflict styles at a glance. For example, a woodpecker is someone during conflict who's always like, I'll do it my way, and owl is always let's talk it all out. And hummingbird is someone that says, I'll give you a little if you will give me some. And ostrich is like conflict. What conflict? So always kind of deflecting. A parakeet is always whatever you say. So I find that really really interesting, really fun. That night we have a lot of talented people at the program. This was again, I feel like every night was always really good. Every day was always really good in the program. I'm not complaining about any of them. So this night especially was really really good because you got to see lots of talent, different cultures, different dances. Yeah, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. So yeah. And then we also had a presentation about Indigenous perspective, and we learned about the importance of reconciliation in this day and age, about how we as teenagers, how we as citizens can come and try to, step on this journey of reconciling back and also learning about Indigenous cultures and languages. And we also had a beautiful dance performance of hula hooping, and we also got to learn how to, sorry, not hula hooping, I forgot the name of the dance, but we also got to learn how to do that. So that was really cool. I'm gonna skip the dance and I will show at the end if there's time because I don't want to take too much time, but yeah. And then we went to the Canadian Museum of History, which is a lot different from the other one. This one has, I feel like this one had more specific Indigenous history about it. The other one was more about like the War Museum and stuff like that. But this one is the history of Canada as a whole. And I think that was really cool. On the last day, we had a citizenship. We got to experience a citizenship ceremony. And as someone who is not yet a citizen, I felt really emotional outside of seeing people get their citizenship. So yeah, this was a really good experience for me. Then we also got to choose who were going to be our province representatives. I didn't really take a picture of them, but this was the venue that we used. And for some reason, I took a picture of the ceiling. So I don't know. And yeah, so for the last, I was supposed to come back to Winnipeg on Wednesday, they said in the beginning, but the airline that was supposed to bring me back to Winnipeg was on strike. So I was very hopeful I was going to come back on Thursday. I didn't. My flight got delayed again to Friday. So I would like to thank Nancy Coway for helping me get my flight back to Winnipeg on Friday. And I would also like to give thanks to the host that hosted me because they took me to the art gallery and I saw Mammon. So that was really cool. I loved that experience. So yeah, thank you.